Right now, as we are speaking, what is the feeling around Ruben Amorim and how secure is he in that position?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. The feeling within Manchester United is still to back Ruben Amorim, so he has that board support, but it's Manchester United. And if you have 3 or 4 bad games in a row, things can obviously change very quickly. So I think there's a few points here. The first is that within the Manchester United hierarchy, my understanding is they feel they've built a team good enough to, at worst, qualify for European football, and in a best case scenario, to contend for top 4 or top 5 in the Champions League. So with the summer support, even though a midfielder didn't arrive, comes extra pressure simply because of the fact that if you're going to spend that amount of money and bring forward some of the budget from summer 2026, then the manager needs to deliver results. I'm not so sure, based on sources I speak to, that this is quite a Graham Potter West Ham type situation where there's 3 games between now and the international break in October and somehow results have to turn around, otherwise there'll be another managerial change. But what I do think is that if we get towards the festive period, if the season progresses, whether short term or medium term, and they're not on course for top 5, top 6, Europa League at worst, then Ruben Amorim is going to be under pressure. And it's one thing saying they back him now, and that is the Manchester United position. But definitely as the games go by, if they keep putting in performances like they do in the Manchester derby, if they don't get a good result against Chelsea at the weekend, then the pressure is definitely going to grow on Ruben Amorim. And that, of course, forces clubs to succession plan. The other thing worth noting is just the compensation, which at the moment, if Amorim decides, were he to be relieved of his duties, that he was going to insist on it, would be 12 million. If you get past the first year anniversary, that number goes down. Then we should note Ruben Amorim has said publicly, if Manchester United don't want him, he'll walk away without compensation. We'll have to wait and see if that scenario emerges, whether he's true to his word. But I think right now there is that genuine board backings. They're not succession planning. They're not interviewing. It's not Chelsea or bust or results between now and the international break. But once we maybe get 10, 15 games in, if Ruben Amorim is not showing, regardless of any mitigating circumstances, that this team can contend for some kind of European football, then I do think he'll be in big trouble.
Yeah, I mean, it's 10 months in and results really do need to start to pick up. I mean, 8 wins in 31 Premier League games, 4 only being against successive Premier League sides from last season to this season. Things have to change, and despite the fact that the Manchester United are putting the message out that they are fully behind the manager, I think internally they will be having some thoughts around whether this is going to turn around, and they'll definitely be doubting the situation right now. You have to be looking at the results. I think everybody wants it to work. Everybody wants Ruben Amorim to be successful, but the results do have to come. I know you speak towards the festive period there, and I know you can't really pinpoint it exactly. But for example, which we don't want to happen, but if it did, which is plausible with the track record we've got, if we did lose against Chelsea, Brentford away was a loss, and then that Sunderland game you don't get a result either, do you think going into that international break that there would be questions, or do you really think it does depend on the 1-year anniversary because of the fee and the compensation fee they'd have to pay?
Yeah, we'd have to understand with the compensation whether or not potentially Ruben Amorim would be prepared to waive it. And if he's true to his word and does so, that wouldn't be a factor. But right now, I think it's just a case of waiting. So Manchester United and Ruben Amorim can have a little bit more time, because obviously we've had a situation where he's had his first pre-season. He's had the opportunity in that pre-season to work with players for the first time. He's had, excuse me.
Bless you.
I've just got a little bit of a Munich plane bug, so apologies if I'm spluttering and stuttering, a bit like Manchester United at the moment, it has to be said. But yeah, I think it's that first pre-season, and it's the fact that Mason Mount and Matheus Cunha have been injured. Benjamin Sesko has needed some time to bed in. And then, of course, Sene Lammens at the moment is not the number 1, but is expected to be sooner rather than later. So I think there's that feeling that Amorim still deserves a little bit of time to build this kind of project. But maybe we'll get in a situation where if results simply don't turn, their hand will be forced.